Hello everybody, what is up, what is new, and how are you? Hi guys! So episode 2 of Beast Games came out the same day as episode 1. However, I'm not able to show any of the footage itself from the games. You'll have to go watch that on Amazon Prime if you want to see the actual show. But I can tell you a little bit about my experience in the Beast City and my experience on the towers. This was insane. This episode was crazy, obviously. I'm so excited to share this all with you, so let's get right into it. Stick around to the end because I am answering questions from the first video because there were a lot of questions about episode 1. So at the end of this video, I will be answering questions that I saw in the comments. Let's jump right into episode 2. Let's start with my experience on the towers. The towers, first of all, are massive. I just don't feel like the show, it does not do justice, just the magnitude of these towers. So on each of those towers, there are 4 floors, and each of those 4 floors corresponds to a type of game. They call us all together and they tell us, we're going to be giving you guys tokens, and your token corresponds with what floor and what tower you're on. So when I picked my tile, I was originally 4-star, which is the white team on the 4th floor doing the catching challenge. I decided that that was not in fact for me, and so I looked for somebody to trade with me since they told us we were allowed to trade. So I found somebody who was a little bit pushy, honestly. He was kind of like, you need to trade with me, you need to trade with me, and I was like, okay, well, I don't want 1. And he had, I think it was 1 star, which is on the bottom floor with the white jerseys. I did not want that one. It said use your brain, and I was like, I'm exhausted. I do not want to use my brain right now. Thank you very much. So he found somebody who had 3 no star, which is the one I wanted. And so we did a 3-way switch. I went back to my friends and almost all of us were on the pink team, or 3 no star. It started with floor 4, which was the yellow team against the white team on the 4th top floor that was the catching game. And that was so brutal to watch. That broke my heart because I know 4-star was just crushed by that. To think that they had won and then just have it ripped away from them. Ugh. But also most of my friends were on for no star or the yellow team. Not to mention, I had originally drawn 4-star, so during all of the confusion with the 4th floor, they ended up taking a couple of hours because they really had to review the footage to make sure that what they were doing was right. And once they had determined who had actually won, they had called us all out back from the bleachers. They showed us on the big screen what had actually happened. Exactly, basically what you saw in the show. The first night of filming wraps, we go to sleep. We're losing nighttime hours to film. We wake up midday, hang out, then starts the 2nd floor. The 2nd floor was less is more. I am so thankful I wasn't in that game. I really despise the self-elimination games. I have a lot of opinions on it. I think they're silly. I had friends on both teams. It was really hard to even feel like I was cheering for one over the other, but we weren't allowed to watch this one actually. So we were sent back to our dorms and then called out when it was time. Then they revealed who had more eliminations, and it happened to be 2-star or the white team on the 2nd floor. That was really sad. I said goodbye to some really, really good friends of mine, and I cried like a baby. And I cried so much, I cried all my makeup off, which is great because then you see some beautiful streaks on my face when I get the screen time I got during the next challenge. I saw a couple people poking fun at us for crying so much, and I understand. I know it looks really, really silly. All I have to say is that the reason why we are crying so much is that we got so close to each other. These 2 to 3 minute clips you're seeing of interactions or eliminations or whatever else it is took place over days or even weeks of filming. And during all of that downtime, we got so close to each other. We had really no connection with the outside world at this time. We were confined to Beast City. We were not allowed to leave Beast City. And even before that, at our hotels, we weren't really allowed to talk to other people either because they just want to keep everything under wraps. We had no internet, no phones, no TV, just not really any form of entertainment. All we had was each other. And we spent all of our downtime not filming, just talking with each other, learning about each other, and creating these really, really tight bonds with each other. Whenever somebody got eliminated, it just kind of felt like they disappeared and were gone forever and that I would never see them again. Partially because I knew that when I left the Beast Games that it wouldn't be the same after that. People have jobs, people have families, and all kinds of things that they have to take care of. And so those kinds of bonds and friendships just wouldn't ever be the same again. So it was really sad when they left. And it really wasn't about the money for me, at least. I was there for the experience and the friendships, getting to experience something that is super unique. That's why it was so emotional. I love my friends. I love the people I connected with, and it broke my heart when I knew they weren't going to be there the next day to hang out. Also, at this point, most of the people who were there for specifically money had self-eliminated. They got their chance to self-eliminate. And so a lot of the people that were there for the experience and the friendships. Most of the people I talked to had a pretty good sense that they weren't going to win and that they were really, really there maybe to win a little something here or there somewhere, but mostly for the experience and friendships. All that to say, it was very sad. I cried a lot. I cry every time my friends get eliminated. You're gonna have to get a little bit used to it. But after floor 2 was over, I was hoping they were gonna let us go to sleep and do it the next day like we had before, but unfortunately they were like, no, come on up, we're going again. And I was like, oh! So floor 3 was next, and that was the floor I was on. Floor 3, pink team. Let me just say, our team was so incredibly solid. If you want to know strategy, if you want to know anything about that, I felt like our team had such good energy. We were so supportive of each other. We had already decided, even if we are losing, we still keep the energy going. That was our biggest strategy. No matter what is happening, we have to keep the energy up, and we need to act like a unit. We are a team. We are not separate people doing this for our own benefit. We are a team right now, and everybody was on the same page. Every single person on 3 no star, we were just on the same page. We were in a huddle. Beforehand, we were all holding hands, talking about our plans, our ideas. Unfortunately, I felt like part of the reason that 3 star had issues is I just didn't feel like they were quite as bonded with each other. And I felt like there were a couple of people on that team who kind of had a little bit of an arrogant attitude going into it, because I think we had more older people on our team. And from what I heard, I could be totally wrong. And if you were on 3 star and this wasn't your experience, feel free to correct me in the comments. But from what I saw, it just seemed like they were a few of them were a little more arrogant because of that. But regardless, our team was solid. We were in a consensus that no matter what was happening, no matter what the score was, we would be positive. We cheer for each other no matter how many times we have a loss. We cheer free every single throw, and we focus on our own game. And I think that that is what led us to victory, genuinely, because when you watch, we started out and we weren't winning originally. We actually had like 4 or 5 just complete misses from the start, and they were beating us. We literally did not care. Of course, I was nervous a little bit, but I didn't matter. And then one of the contestants, Princess, I don't remember her number right now, but I was good friends with her. She is so sweet and so hilarious. She went up there and she got that first one in, and from that point on, it was just buckets. I was just so proud of our team, and you can literally see me in every shot, me yelling and screaming my head off. I completely lost my voice just because of how, and like the energy was just unstoppable. We were electric, we were excited, and I'm so thankful for everyone who got their basket. And for anyone asking, I did not make mine into the basket. I had a lot of people ask. I had multiple of my friends text me and say, you didn't make yours, did you? And I was like, dude, stop. And I actually was next to Jimmy during the ad read. If you watch, you can see them cut to the other girl right after me, because she made hers and I absolutely did not make mine, and it probably wouldn't have looked very good for me to not make it right after the ad read. Thankful that they didn't show my missed basket on live television, but also I am sad because I really thought that was gonna be my screen time. But hey, I got good screen time screaming my head off with Emma. Let me explain this. The balls that we were throwing were like kickballs, okay? But they were covered in like a weird powder. It was almost like baby powder, sort of. A lot of us were trying to bounce the baby powder off because we thought it was gonna make us slip. But now thinking about it and realizing, being like, maybe they had that on there to keep our hands from sweating and slipping. And the reason I talk about our energy and everything surrounding just being a team is that when they brought out that gold cup, not a single person was even slightly moved. We were like, whatever, who cares? Let's just get these shots in, win, and move on. Also, I'll be honest with you, when I was standing up there looking at the gold cup, there is just no way. I don't think a single person would have been able to get that shot. It was insane. It was already really, really hard to get the red cup shots because the wind was blowing and it was far. They go over, they do their whole, let's do a rousing speech. Yo! let's get this white team's energy back up. Then the guy went up with his final shot and missed it, and we just erupted. I remember going to the edge, and even though the energy had been great, I was so stressed coming up there because I really didn't want to go home. Obviously, nobody wants to go home, but I just had no time to even take a second, breathe, and look at where I was. So we won, we cheered, we freaked out, we were singing and dancing and all that, and giving our sorries and condolences to the white team because I knew how crushed they were. But after all of that, I walked to the front of the tower and I stood there and I just looked out at the view. Oh my God, that view was just so incredible. It was the middle of the night. You could see all of the lights in like Toronto, and it was just beautiful. After we had won, we went back down and they were like, we're getting this last tower challenge in. We're getting number 1, floor 1 done tonight. So they did. They got floor 1 done that night. And I had friends on both sides, so it was tough either way. Orange won, and that completed the majority of the tower challenge. After that, we are all of a sudden told, guys, actually, we're not even done yet. And I'm like, dude, it is probably 4 a.m. right now, and I know that sun's coming up soon. I don't know how you guys are fitting another challenge in here. And I was literally almost in tears because I was so exhausted and I did not want to have to do another challenge. But we had another challenge that night. I originally wanted to get this video out way sooner, but I really wanted to talk about the final challenge, and because it left off on a cliffhanger, I couldn't. So that's why you are getting it now, so I can talk about it. So they lined us up into the teams: orange, yellow, pink, and white. And we're all in our rows, and they let us know about the bribe situation and that we have to pick captains. And I'm like, more bribes! Ah! It's very frustrating. But I felt pretty good because I felt like we had good people. When it came to selecting a team captain, they had Dino, who is an awesome guy who was willing to go up there. And then we also had Akira, who's one of my really close friends, and he was willing to go up there as well. Akira originally didn't even put himself up. It was Cody, number 900, who was like, we should pick Akira. And Akira was like, yeah, I guess I'll throw my hat in the ring too. And so he did. But I know that it made it seem like there was a little bit of tension or something, but there was no bad blood. We were fine picking Dino, or, Akira was also fine picking Dino too. People really wanted Dino and really trusted Dino, and he seemed like a good guy. I will say I didn't know Dino as well at this point. I hadn't really talked to him all that much, so I was terrified. And my friends were like, no, he's like a retired firefighter and he wants to do this for his grandkids. We can really trust him. Like, he had a lot of people who really vouched for him. One of the reasons that I was okay with him being our team captain was that during our floor challenges, throwing the ball in the cup challenge, he had been such a beacon. He was one of the people who was really leading, really cheering us on, and really unifying us. So I felt like I'd gotten sort of an idea of his character already. So then after that, we all agreed on Dino and he went up there. They start the timer, money starts going, and I'm just like shaking. I'm so nervous. Me and Princess are standing there like, oh my gosh. He likes to ham it up and stuff, he's very performative and very charismatic and stuff. And so he was doing a lot of just being silly, and he wasn't gonna press it. But me and Emma and Ivy, all of my friends on Pink Team, we were just losing our mind, being like, get away from the button, stop! I really did feel better and better as the time went on, and he didn't press the button. As you guys saw, they really made it look like he was gonna press the button, but he absolutely did not press the button. We were cheering, and he cried and was so sweet.
You guys mean more to me than that screen.
He had really been there for us, all the way from on the towers, off the towers. Great guy. Love Dino. He is such a wonderful, genuine man. So that is the end of episode 2 and the beginning of episode 3. I also wanted to give you guys a little bit of an idea of what it was like to live in Beast City and kind of go through a day in the Beast City, at least before the tower challenges. So we were divided into our houses. There were 50 people in each house to start, and we each had our own bunk bed and our own little buckets that had all of our stuff in it, like our towels and extra clothes. We had girls and boys bathrooms and showers. I was on the top bunk of one of the bunk beds. Because we filmed at night, we'd be waking up in the middle of the day. Anytime I would wake up, I would be sweating. It was so hot during the day because I think the sun was beating down right on our house, so I would always wake up in a sweat, it's fine. It was just funny. But basically, you would wake up and you would go out to the Feastables Cafe. And let me give you a little image of the Feastables Cafe. There were these little glass doors that you could pull open, and there was a ton of them, like a whole grid of glass doors. In each of the little cubbies, there would be people putting food in those cubbies, and you could see if it was vegetarian or vegan, gluten-free, whatever dietary requirement you had, they had it. And so you would go in there, you'd open a cubby, there'd be food in it, and you'd take it. And everybody would just kind of be waiting around Feastables Cafe, waiting for their food. And on either side of Feastables Cafe, there was a coffee station and then a case full of Feastables at any time, liquid death, and lots of water bottles, electrolyte drinks, sodas. You could get water, soda, food pretty much any time during the day, but they did have set breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Basically, you would walk out, you would go to one of the different picnic tables, find your friends, and you would eat your food, you would chat, laugh, talk about the last games, talk about what you thought the next games were going to be, because we were always talking about what we thought the next games were going to be. After eating, you would take your tray, take it back up to Feastables Cafe, go to medical, get my medicine for the day. Usually I would go get ready because we were told we'd be filming at night, and so I would go put on my makeup and take showers, all that good stuff. And then we would all meet back up again and we would play games. I would usually run a game called Mafia or Werewolf. I don't know if you know what that is, but it is a very fun game. It's almost like a mystery storytelling game with a big storytelling element. It has similarities to D&D, I think, at least the way that I play it or run it. So I would get together big groups of people and we would play Werewolf, and it was so much fun. And at one point, I'm so sad they didn't show this, but I had a group of like 50 people all playing Werewolf, which is just so much fun. And what was even more fun is I even got Carl and Chandler to play with us one time when they were hanging out in the Bee City. So that was pretty fun, getting to lead a game of Werewolf for Carl and Chandler. But we would play games, we would hang out, we would talk, play soccer, basketball, chess, cornhole, ping pong tables. There were frisbees. I loved playing frisbee with my friends as well. There was so much to do in the city. There was just a lot of open space. There were bikes, lounge areas. That's kind of the extent of what we had to do there. During our off time, we were kind of having a blast. There were people that were running yoga. There were people running hide and seek games. And then at night, we would be told, you should probably go ahead and eat dinner. We're going to be filming soon. And we're like, cool, we all go eat dinner. And then we would go film and go to sleep after the filming, wake up the next day and start over. And there were a lot of groups that kind of formed, but really, I mean, everybody was very friendly. I didn't really find too many people to be mean or anything like that. I felt like I had made a good amount of friends while I was there. That's basically a day in the Bee City. Most of it is just bonding with your contestant mates or your friends. And before we close out the video, let me answer some of the questions from the first video. So the first question comes from Nathan Roberts. Was the flag number you grabbed the number you got in Beast Games? Yes. So during episode 0, there was a flag challenge where you would have to run and grab a numbered flag to continue. I ran and grabbed flag 744 and they told us absolutely do not lose that flag. If you lose the flag, you're eliminated. I was almost worried they were going to make us do chase around and steal the flag from somebody challenge. I made sure nobody was going to get it. That is how I got number 744, was from the flag game. So the next question was, how aware were you and the other contestants that you were standing on trapdoors before they actually drop? And how quickly were the trapdoor sequences done in real time? So we actually figured out that we were on trapdoors almost instantly, mainly because when we were first walking in, we were walking under where the platforms were, and we could see rows and rows and rows of these wooden boxes that were going all the way up, and we were like, what is that? So we kind of had an idea that there was going to be some sort of falling aspect, I guess. And when we saw the trapdoors, we knew instantly. We could tell. And you could tell when you stood on them too. They were very, very clearly trapdoors, though they didn't tell us they were trapdoors until we were really filming. I will tell you, the sequences took a long time. They were definitely not as quick as they seemed because they wanted to make sure everybody was really safe. The ones where they did like the row, where they would drop all in a row, it just took a long time to set up beforehand. It was done that quick. It was like a da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, but the prep time beforehand was substantial because they wanted to be safe. Like they weren't just gonna drop somebody out of the blue. That kind of goes for a lot of the games, though it was so quick and such seamless cuts and all that kind of stuff. It really did take a long time to film these. They filmed these over days. So the next question is, was there a safety thing they did to make sure no one would fall off the towers? And let me explain that this is for episode 1 towers, not episode 2 towers. I'm gonna tell you right now, even if you did fall off the towers, it probably wouldn't be that dramatic. The episode 1 personal towers, they weren't as high off the ground as they seemed. They had the tower, and then about 4 feet below was a floor, and they edited that floor out and made it look like it was forever and ever and ever. But below that was where you would drop into if you were eliminated. Even if you fell off the towers, you wouldn't be hurt. It would be like a 3-4 foot drop to the floor. It felt high regardless, but I don't think anybody was gonna fall off. And I mean, if we are talking technically, we were tethered by our mic. Our mic was connected to the platform, and the mic was connected to our leg, like strapped to our leg. And our last question is, how did you get selected to participate? That is what I want to know. So I had submitted an audition in the past, or an application in the past, to Beast Videos, and because of that, I was already in their system, I guess, and so they sent me an email asking me to audition for Beast Games. I went through the application process, made a video like they asked me to, and I got very lucky. I got cast. They called me that day and asked me a couple of questions, and then I literally was leaving not that long after. It was going like real quick. But if you want to audition for future Beast Games stuff or other Mr. Beast videos, you can look up Beast Games or Mr. Beast video submissions. I'm pretty sure they have like open submissions all the time. And once your name is in the system, you could have the exact same thing that happened to me happen, where they see your name and they're like, oh, they put in for this one. Why don't we ask them to audition for this one? Oh, and one other thing I did see, which I thought was a little silly, is somebody saying that I didn't make it far because the games are still filming. The games are not still filming. They wrapped filming in September. We were given a timeline that we had to be free from August through September. They are not still filming this right now, just to answer that question for you. I also saw a lot of people trying to guess how far I made it in the games. We'll see. I can't tell you that. You will have to continue to watch the Beast Games on Prime to find out. As it stands right now, I'm still in, baby. Also, be on the lookout for episode 3, discussion and reaction. I'll be talking with the people who were in the red boxes with me during episode 3 about our experience in the red box, because I promise you, they did not cover enough of the insanity that occurred. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate every single one of you. Please subscribe. We just hit 1,000 subscribers, literally Christmas Day. What a Christmas surprise for me. Please like, comment how far you think I made it. I can't answer all of them, obviously, but I would love to answer more questions. If you have any, just leave them in the comments below. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, all of those lovely things to stay updated. Come hang out with me on Twitch sometime. I go live on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and I will see you guys later. Bye, everybody.